Welcome to this Windows and Computer channel, and I've had quite a few people ask me questions about the diagnostics and data in the past couple of weeks, including also something else that is some of you see in the settings, which says that the settings are actually being controlled by an organization, and so you can't change some of the settings. So first of all, diagnostics and feedback. That created a lot of controversy since the beginning of Windows 10. I want to just explain it a little more in the latest version of Windows 10, which is the October 2020 update. Same information, by the way, that you have in the May 2020 update also. If you go into the Privacy tab in the settings and go into Diagnostics and Feedback, you will see that there are two options. Once again, there is no option to turn it off. And I know that some people are kind of frustrated over this possibility, this option of not having the possibility to turn it off is kind of something that for some people is a problem. Should you be scared of the diagnostics and data? There's no reason to think so. We know Microsoft is a difficult company to understand sometimes what they actually do with some stuff. The wording of some of the paragraphs, I got a lot of people over the last few years that said, well, they can identify you. They cannot identify you, and that's the thing. And whether you're using the optional, which is really the full diagnostics that you could send from a PC in Windows 10, or just a required, which is the minimum, Microsoft does say it is anonymized. When they say that they identify it to something, it's not you. They identify it to a number. So let's say that as a user, you have been assigned number 303. Well, the diagnostics sent, they know it's user 303. So from there, you're going to say, well, so they identify me. No, they don't, because where it stops is there. The user 303, they can't trace it back to where it is, to who you are. It is anonymized. It really is sent and kind of scrambled in a way that they can't really know. So whatever is being sent out, they don't know who you are. But here's a little catch on that. If you send the minimum, which is required diagnostics data, this is the absolute minimum. And if you are, one of those that prefer having the minimum amount of information sent out from a PC to Microsoft, that's the option you should use. Required diagnostics sends the minimum information about, if your computer crashes, or some basic information about what type of PC you have, stuff like that, in order to be able to check out that everything seems to be right. The optional is a lot more intrusive, and where privacy could technically be a concern, and that's where the optional diagnostics, maybe you don't want to use it, is if you have, for example, a blue screen. In the required diagnostics data, the blue screen is just going to send the minimum information about what happened and where it crashed, and that's it. So they probably will have enough information to know it crashed at a certain point because of certain things, but they aren't getting enough information to see what you were actually doing. In the optional diagnostics, they actually take a snapshot of some of the information. So they might take a snapshot of, for example, the temporary space allocated on the hard drive. They might take a snapshot of the RAM memory. And that could technically lead to an identification of who you are, because if by chance the snapshot of RAM memory, for example, you were doing email and they could see an email address and things like that, or personal emails, because that could be the case, then yes, they could technically, with the information found in the optional diagnostics, maybe know who you are. And that is a possibility in optional diagnostics. And even though they say it's anonymized, optional diagnostics, when your PC crashes, does send a lot more information. And there technically could be this possibility. But overall, I keep it optional. I don't really care. And if it helps Microsoft make Windows better, that's it. That's the other question a lot of people are asking is, why does this exist? Well, it is to improve Windows. By sending information, they know that, if it crashes, if there are errors, even, your PC might have internal errors without you even noticing. Not every crash makes a blue screen or a freeze. Some crashes go unnoticed. And that information is sent out, and they, will fix it in an upcoming update, or they will, especially if there's a lot of people that have the same problem. It's really to improve Windows 10. But if you worry about, privacy, required diagnostics is the minimum, and that is pretty much anonymized. That they can't really trace it to who you are exactly. They know it's somebody somewhere on the planet, and that pretty much stays to that level. But whatever you do, you cannot switch it off. And last but not least, a lot of you have an option so if you go on diagnostics data, for example, or you go on certain settings, you might see something that says these settings are controlled by your organization, and they are grayed out. You cannot change them. If you have a PC that comes from a big company, if you work for a company, they lent you a PC or gave you a PC for work, that is possible. That is set at these settings are controlled by your organization, because they want to have a certain amount of control and know how to for example, do connections with the system, the company systems, for example. They will actually freeze some settings in that way. If you're a Windows Insider, it will happen, because here you need to be at optional diagnostics. You have no choice. So there might be a wording that says, oh, well, this is controlled by your organization. So if that happens, it means that either the Windows is from a company, or it comes from a service that actually requires some form of control. Usually if you clean install with a standard Windows 10 on a USB thumb drive, or just reinstall, that should go away, because there's no reason for that to happen if your PC is a home PC, for example. If you enjoy our videos, please subscribe, give us thumbs up. Thank you for watching.